Are your ex-lovers haunting you? That's today's question. Hi, I'm Sunny, and I have 6 piles you guys can choose from top to bottom, left to right, pile 1, 2, 3, followed by 4, 5, and 6. So if you need more time, you're more than welcome to pause the video and select the pile or piles of your choice. So remember, this is going to be a yes or no format, and I will start with pile number 1. So pile number 1, you guys have a no. You guys have the Two of Wands reverse. So if you think about a specific lover or lovers, plural, this is a no. They're not haunting you in any shape or way. Maybe it's just you coming here to confirm that, but they're clear out of your, your vicinity. I think they're focused more on themselves, or maybe just a different partner. They've moved on, but they're definitely looking at the broader perspective of their life and stuff. They're not necessarily thinking about you anymore, which is great. Why would you want that anyways? Dismiss them. So that's more or less the energy for the first pile. So thank you, pile number 1, and you're also more than welcome to get your own interpretation. I welcome that. Next, you have pile number 2. You guys have a no. You have the Queen of Swords reversed. So for you, pile number 2, I was gonna say 6. So for pile number 2, you guys have the Queen of Swords reversed, and this is a no. Your past ex-lovers are not haunting you. I think maybe you're just in your head a bit. Maybe it's just a paranoia. But yeah, I think maybe you're in your head about it because they really took a toll on you. I mean, they said some nasty things about you or to you in your face, or maybe they kept it to yourself and they said that to somebody else, and it wasn't as nice. And I think it has a lot to do with critiquing you and putting you down and stuff like that kind of nasty. It wasn't called for maybe, and that's why you're like trying to see if that was still happening, or but it's a no, which is great. I think they finally moved on and they looked at something else to actually put their focus on, and hopefully it's just basically them focusing on becoming better people, hopefully. But that's the answer. I'm not gonna make it too detailed, but you're more than welcome to create your own interpretation from that, pile number 2. Next is pile number 3. You guys have the Four of Wands reverse. So no, your ex-lovers are not haunting you, and maybe if you're thinking about somebody that you established a connection for the long term, maybe it was someone who was your ex-fiance or your ex-husband and wife, or you were actually married for a long time and you divorced. Like, you're thinking about maybe this person in particular, you had a family or something like that. But no, it does feel like maybe you guys suddenly made a change and it was chaotic. It was messy, but it broke the foundation, but it was needed for you guys to kind of move on and form very different lives, because you guys wanted very different things out of your connection, and it wasn't going to work out. So no, that's just plain and simple. They're not haunting you. They are focusing on basically moving on. Maybe they even moved from city, like away from you, or where you guys were at, country maybe, but it just feels like they're at a distance. So that's what I have for you, pile number 3. Next is pile number 4, and you guys have a no. This is the Six of Wands reverse. So the person in your mind, let me just move these down. Let's see. That's a bit better. So the person in your mind, or the people in your mind, that's plural, are not haunting you. Maybe if you have thought about them recently, like whatever became of them, they're dissatisfied. I think they're not very happy with where they're at, or the specific person is where they're not where they want to be. I don't think they're getting the recognition they want. Maybe they thought that, example, if they moved on to a different relationship, they thought, oh, everyone's going to praise me for this relationship, this person's better looking. They're not getting that recognition, maybe because they're not great people, or maybe because that person's not that great for whatever reason. it could be like that sometimes. It's like sometimes even when you get with somebody else that's in a messy situation, or not a messy situation, but it was messy how you got together, basically, maybe by sneaking around sometimes. And this is just an example, this isn't the interpretation of the card, but basically when you have people like that and you form a connection, it can end bad. Sometimes it's like how you get them is how you lose them, is how the saying goes. And maybe that's how they ended up. They're disappointed that it didn't work out. They didn't feel like they were being praised and stuff. So maybe they learned that your ex-lover wasn't all that great, and they called it out and they felt insulted and things ended sour. So maybe that's why they're dissatisfied with what they got, because they thought it was going to be better and it wasn't, and they thought that they were going to be treated like a king and like a queen or whatever, and turns out they weren't, because they weren't all that great. And then the truth comes out when you start living with a person that they're not that great of people. But take that with a grain of salt. That's not your scenario. It's just a no. So next is pile number 5. Let me cover that because it's the Lovers, but it's upright. So yes, your ex-lover or lovers, which is interesting. Why did this? Okay, so I'm genuinely curious now why lovers is. I feel like it's plural. I wouldn't say a singular for this one, even though it's a one person. It's the question that I was like, your ex-lover's haunting you, and I got a plural back. I feel it's a confirmation for more than one person that they are haunting you, and maybe they're haunting you in the way where they might still keep tabs on you and stuff like that, or maybe they're haunting you because you're trying to move on, and they keep somehow managing to put their presence in you, like you running into them, or you had a connection with them and maybe you had a child with them, and that's why you keep running into them. It's like you have to in some way, and they're haunting you. That connection is haunting you in that way where it's like, I can't undo that because obviously there's like a child in between, but until like your child is of age, then you're like, okay, then I no longer have to see them that much, to be honest. But maybe that's it for some people, but I feel that maybe it annoys you. I don't know. I got nosy with this one, so I'm just going to pick a different, confirmation. You guys got the Strength card reverse. So I feel that you're trying to put up a front about it. Like, it's okay, but it's like you're trying to keep strong, but you're not. It's just, it's really haunting you. I think that it's stressing you out. I feel it's more like a stress, like, of having them present in some way, or having you bump into them, or like you fearing that you're going to see them again. It's stressing you out. Like, it takes a lot of you. It takes a lot out of you. There you go. And I think you're just tired of it, and I think you're tired of them. But this is just a confirmation read. I'm not going to go in any further than that. So this is a yes for you, and you're more than welcome to take whatever else resonates with you. Use your own intuition. Pile number 5. Next, pile number 6, you guys have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. So this is a no, and good for you. Why would you want it to be a yes? So for pile number 6, none of your ex-lovers or ex-lover is haunting you, which is great. I think they're down on their luck. I think that if things ended badly for you, things are finally not necessarily turning great for you, but they seem more stable. Like your life seems more stable. Their life has not been that stable, or whose ever life I'm thinking about. They've had a lot of twists and turns, a lot of Una reverses, and they have to deal with the fact that they have to roll with the punches, and they weren't prepared for a lot of the things that life had to throw their way, and which is great, you know, like why. Not necessarily saying like good for them, they deserved it, because I don't know the circumstances, but I feel that maybe they could have things could have ended not that great. I don't necessarily think it's like cheating or anything like that. It's just that maybe you guys fought over silly things or just differences, like example, like your finances. Like you guys had very different ways to manage it, and you guys couldn't see on each other's page, and then because maybe they would waste so much and then you wouldn't, like they had a lot of twists and turns with you, and finally when you broke off, it was just them having to deal with the fact that they they couldn't deal with that wheel of fortune anymore, which is their fault, right? And like you finally realized it wasn't really you, maybe like you weren't the issue as to why things were chaotic or like up and down all the time. It was the fact that they mismanaged money, for example. They're the reason it was always up, down, and possibly more down than up. So they're having to deal with stuff like that, where it's like they're down on their luck. They're like, oh, I can't rely on that other person anymore to basically like not pick up my slack, but like use them as like that backup of like, oh, it's gonna be okay, they can handle it, kind of thing. But that's just an example. You don't have to take that as as like, you know, word by word, but take what resonates, and you're more than welcome to use your intuition, pile number 6. So thank you so much, and I'll see you soon in different videos. So bye everybody.